Welcome, it's Liv, and today I'm here to talk about Season 7 of The Vampire Diaries. If you watch the rest of the seasons, but not Season 7, this section will be spoiler free, so feel free to stay tuned. We're going to start off by saying that Vampire Diaries is my favourite show on earth. Ever since Season 1, I was hooked. I was obsessed. It was the one show that I would always watch no matter what until seasons 5 and 6. This show is so addictive. But something happened in season 5 and 6 and I just had no motivation. They made it so much about the romance and the whole Delena problems. And it pains me to say that because Delena, just my favourite ship on earth. I shipped them from season 1 as soon as Damon showed his beautiful face. And season 5 and 6 just lost something that made me love the show in the first place, which was all about the town and about the history, and that was what made the show so good. Even though there was a love triangle, it didn't overwhelm the show. And in season 5 and 6, it was like, oh, Delena having problems trying to be together, oh, can't be together. And I stopped watching, and after they said that Nina Dobrev was leaving the show, that was like the final straw for me, and I vowed to never watch it again. I was going to avoid this series because there was no Elena. I just thought, how is this going to work? But after it came out on Netflix, season 7 that is, I couldn't resist because I thought, this is my favourite show on earth, I can't just stop watching it, especially as season 8 is going to be the final one. And I finished the show a few days ago. I binge watched the whole thing in about a week. I feel like season 7 renowned the show. It felt like going back to season 1 to 4 where you got so invested, and this season broke me. Was I the only one that actually had a sob fest every single episode? I couldn't breathe. I'm pretty sure I broke my tear ducts. And the thing that surprised me the most is I didn't miss Elena. The rest of the characters were able to carry the season and it was great. And I need to give a special shout out to Michael Malarkey who plays Enzo. So many feels. His character was played so well that I just fell in love with him, and I think he's just overtaken my top Bay love from Damon. I think Enzo is now my favourite male on the series. So if you're not watching season 7, I would recommend watching season 7 just for Enzo. They changed the layout of the series. They did a similar thing to How to Get Away with Murder where they had a 3 years before flashbacks at the beginning of each episode. So you're kind of building up to that 3 years throughout the season, and it was great. I loved that layout because every single episode made me want to watch it more. The music was on point. It was going back to those emotional songs that made me break down. It had the same mood as the past seasons where they actually made you invest in the story. There was a much bigger focus on Damon and Stefan, which we always had as a backdrop in the previous series. We never actually got seasons that focused on their relationship, and I loved that so much this season. I would highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. I will now be doing a spoiler discussion, so definitely leave if you're planning to watch the show, and of course stay tuned if you have seen it. So at first, when I started watching it, I thought they would completely discard Elena's existence. She's in the coffin, great, stay there. No mention of her because obviously Nina's not on the show anymore. But it felt like she was there the whole time because they kept mentioning her. So the main plotline of the first part of the season are the heretics. Every time Valerie came onto the scene, I wanted someone to kill her so much. I've never hated a character so much in my life that I later on ended up liking. Is it just me that hated Valerie at first, and then by the end of the season I kind of learnt to tolerate her? She was so evil. But then when she started helping with Caroline, I started warming up to her and I thought, okay, she's not as crazy as I thought she was. My favourite heretic was probably Nora. She was very complicated, but not in a sort of stupid way like I found Mary Louise, because she was actually a complete psycho and I could not warm up to her until she blew herself up in the car. I feel like they created the whole Heretic storyline to kind of go back to the Michelsons, because having a whole British vampire family worked great, and I think they tried to copy that by having another British family, which I didn't really appreciate because there can only be one Klaus and you can't just create another British family. Which reminds me, Klaus was in this season. Every time he came on, it just brought back those season 4 feels, which if it was their goal to remind viewers that they're going back to the better TVD, it worked, because having Klaus on it renowned my faith in the show. So Caroline and Stefan for the first season, we'll get to the weird Caroline/Rick part in a second, but at the beginning of the season when they had Caroline and Stefan falling in love, it brought back those same emotions that I had when Damon and Elena were first starting to get together, and I got very, very invested in their storyline. Until we actually get to the 3 years later and she's engaged to Rick. What the hell was that? I know she didn't love him back, but that was really weird. I didn't like that. Is it just me? I found that so odd. I was completely up and down about Lily. I hated her. Of course, she's the reason Elena is dead. I don't know how Stefan got over that so quickly. Damon, yes, maybe he shouldn't have said what he said just as she was on her deathbed. But I get where he was coming from. She was crazy. She picked this fake family that she created for herself over her actual sons. She ran away and left 2 sons with a crazy psycho killer man. No one's gonna forgive you for that, love. So this season kind of felt like 2 seasons because of the Heretic storyline, but they all ended up dying anyway, and then we got Raina Cruz. I don't know what my feelings towards her are. Of course, the whole fact that she tricked them into making Bonnie become the Huntress. But come on, did you really think that she was gonna just give up her life without there being an ulterior motive? Oh, you know, I'm just going to go make a deal with this woman who has been created in the past to hate vampires. Yes, I'm going to make a deal with her to try and save Bonnie, who is a witch that is in a relationship with a vampire who, again, I'm vowed to hate. Still, I knew something was going to happen, and when Bonnie became the Huntress and started marking them all one by one, emotions. So, as I kind of already mentioned at the beginning of this video, Enzo was the highlight of this whole season, and him and Bonnie were just the OTP. The way that he started caring for her, you could tell he would be willing to do anything, and when he found out that the pills that Bonnie was taking were killing her, the pain on his face, I'm telling you, this season just broke me emotionally. And Michael, just, his acting was just off the charts whenever he did an emotional Enzo scene. And that also goes for Paul Wesley. Whenever Paul Wesley plays an evil guy, he is phenomenal. His face changes and it looks like a different person. I don't know how he does that. It's just magnificent. The show wouldn't be the same without his. I'm going to call this the Stefan Ripper mode. The whole armory thing was just so stupid. How did the man that walked into that cellar thing for a moment changed his whole personality, and then Damon managed to go in there and didn't change him straight away? He was in there for a while, but he managed to come back out. I don't understand. It took him a while to get over there. Why couldn't Bonnie quickly get another phone? You have your own phone, right? And call Stefan to tell him to run to Damon because he's about to do something stupid and follow fake Elena's voice into the tomb thing. That would have taken a few seconds, and Damon took a while to walk into that thing. Stefan could have just run down the stairs, thrown Damon against the window, and it would have been fine. So now Damon and Enzo are these freak killer people. This weird finger thing touched Enzo. That did feel like the Vampire Diaries. That looked like something out of Alien, and it was really weird. So I'm happy the show's renowned for me, because I honestly thought I was never going to watch it again after 5 and 6. But I'm back. I'm back in the fandom. I'm in love again, and I can't wait for season 8, which already has come out, but I haven't watched it yet, of course. I am very excited. Overall, I think they really stepped up their game. So I hope you enjoyed my discussion of season 7. Comment down below if you've watched it and what you thought of it. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll probably be doing a season 8 one after it's over. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!